So my last video was focusing on analysing a potential hacker. I have to say potential for entirely legal reasons, given how I've got no hard proof. This video is more of a summary of the hell that I had to put up with during the previous week of ranked races on F1 23. We're starting off strong, coming into the end of my China qualifying lap. This is the first race I did of the week. I run wide at the hairpin and understandably get a warning for track extending, which is completely fair enough. The bullshit follows at the next corner though, where I basically do the exact same, actually gain time this time, unlike the hairpin where I lost time, and get absolutely nothing for it. Thank you game for being consistent. Speaking of being consistent, I get a painfully average start off the line, as I always do, and we're stuck on the inside coming to turn 1. All we can do is stick to the inside and pray we don't get caught up in the hell that's going on the outside. I'm pretty sure I saw a car in the air at one point, but for the most part it's pretty clean. We have to run into the gravel because of the car ahead of us, but honestly it's probably safer out there. All things considered, I'd say this has been a fairly clean Sector 1, and as we come into Sector 2, it immediately doesn't last. We somehow don't get damage from this, and we drop to P15. But if you thought that was the end of the lap 1 bullshit, there's a lot of cars ahead of us which we take benefit from, but then I get a random collision with someone and I honestly don't know who I hit. Things settle down just a little bit as we come to the final corner at the end of lap 1, as someone does a brilliant Albon impression. It's not until the start of lap 5 that we actually catch someone who isn't spinning or going off track, and it looks like for the first time we're actually going to get a genuine overtake. We go to the outside turn 1, it's going to be difficult to go on the outside and he's probably going to push us wide, but for the most part it actually looks pretty clean. There's no contact for once, and we've made the move. I'm as shocked as everyone else. Not only do we make the move cleanly, but it looks like we're actually going to have a clean battle with this guy. He gets us with DRS down the back straight, misses his braking point, runs wide, probably doesn't get a track extension warning for that, but we get the cutback on him, and it's looking like a pretty nice fight. After a pit stop we've managed to gap the guy in P7 and arrow right on the back of P5, and immediately you can tell he's going to be a dickhead. Pulling inspiration from Max Verstappen, we've got a Saudi Arabian DRS situation here, and predictably he absolutely cruises past us. I hope he's proud of that move, because he really earned it. The following lap is our turn to get DRS, and we're going to be the ones pulling alongside him into the hairpin. Inside line for us, and you know, he may be being a bit of a dick with the DRS, but at least this is a nice clean battle. There's no real let me try that again. There's no real pushing off track or dirty driving going on here other than the DRS situation. There's a little bump going into the final corner, but for the most part, you know, pretty reasonably respectable for a ranked race. I'd say this is a respectable battle. I scare him off on the outside turn 1. I don't really know how I did that, but I wish I knew. And other than the lap 1 chaos, I guess you should call it, this has actually been a pretty clean lobby, which is weird for ranked. Normally something happens. There it is. There it is. So after that idiot, we catch onto the back of this guy again, and he's doing the same tactic again with DRS. And I'll be honest, after the 2 incidents I've had enough of this shit, and I cannot be asked to deal with this DRS dickhead. A messy lap 1 I can handle. Being taken out mid-race, that pushes me beyond my limit, and so we get a very satisfying and very well-controlled takeout of the DRS dickhead. And I do personally feel like it was so clean that I need to analyse this in a replay. Obviously we're looking behind, we're waiting to see what direction he goes, we're going to move across him no matter where he goes. He's got DRS, he's rapidly closing, he moves to the right, we go to the right, he hits the back of us, puts us into a spin, he does that, we bounce off the wall and we catch the spin. Absolutely beautiful. We've got a bit of damage to the front wing, but all things considered, brilliant move. The only downside is with the damage, we obviously don't catch anyone else, but we get P6. Next up we have the Portuguese Grand Prix, a track that I have not raced at competitively ever. I have never done a league race around here, I've never done an online race around here. I've done a few laps and I hate the track, but you wouldn't think that because I get pole position. This lobby must be terrible. It's lights out and away we go, and you guessed it, we get a very average start. I don't know what's wrong with me on this game, but at least it's better than F1 22. We lose position into turn 1, he runs wide, and we lose a position into turn 3, as P3 goes up or inside, pushes us wide, which is always nice of him. We're going to push him back, but he runs even wider than the guy at turn 1. Meanwhile, we've got P4 coming up on our inside. He breaks late. We're going to get a cut back on him. We're going to push P3 wide. We're going to hold on to P3. We're wheel to wheel with P2 currently. I'm only saying these because I don't actually know the names of anyone and I can't be asked to read them. But regardless, we hit the back of P2, break our wing, and that is a pole position immediately ruined. It's not all doom and gloom though, there's still a long race to go, and we know we have the pace on these guys, and it's only a little bit of damage to the front wing, so it's not... Never mind. After our pit stop, we were able to stretch our legs, and we actually had a surprising pace, which is, you know, it's shocking for me at this track, because I hate this track with a passion. Even more so after that lap 1. It seemed currently I was on a mission to make up these positions, but if there's one thing that I care more about than a Portugal win, it's my hatred for Qatar Airways. Well, that's just really unfortunate. And during our second pit stop on lap number 5, we end up getting lapped. Just a reminder, 4 laps ago, we were on pole position. Despite all the shit I've been through at this stage though, I still found the decency to get out of the way when I was being lapped, even though I was massively faster than these guys. I stay behind for a sector, but in the end, I have no choice really but to overtake P4 and unlap myself. We continue to harass the leaders as coming into the hairpin. We have a very audacious dive up the inside of him. He manages to leave us room, which I fully respect, because I certainly wouldn't if a backmarker dived me. And we're just going to continue harassing the leaders, even though we are 8th place and a lap down. P3 eventually gets out our way, and honestly it's probably the right move for him, as it allows us to catch P7, at which point I'm only 3 seconds behind, which I'm pretty sure I was 20 seconds behind at one stage, so I don't really know how I'm doing this. But we're halfway through the race currently, we're in a bit of a lull period, but I see the opportunity for some content. That is not the content I wanted. Also, before you tell me in the comments, I'm fully aware that every single incident in this race was entirely my fault. I'm fully aware. I'll leave you with this short clip from an Austria race, which in my opinion shows why auto recovery is the worst thing to ever be put in an F1 game.
Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFT if you want to go and check it out.
Fuck you, EA.